Good morning, it is the Todd and Erin morning stream here on GetPartDaily.com. It is Friday, and I would like to point out the magnificence of my husband's shirt. Yes, it's delightful.
It's better than the front.
It's a sailor girl, because we always sit like this when we're on a sailboat. I'm sorry.
I do.
I've always loved the unnatural poses, though. That's always been my favorite about all the cute 50s pinups.
Right.
Because they're just so uncomfortable, but they are posed so well. Morning Mountain Camp, of course, is brought to you by Robert J. DeBry and Associates. Look how pretty it is.
It is a pretty day.
The wind's going like crazy for the next 2 days, though, and we actually have, I think it's Sunday or Monday, we have a high of 67.
I don't
and
know how that
June.
happens. I know. Well, tragic
There you
thing
go.
in Sandy. Tragic thing in Sandy.
That was one of the hardest things to see, and particularly because it was extremely close to an elementary school. So many children involved. And as a parent, I can't even imagine. But there was one man, Captain Tony Allred.
There's always a hero.
And he is a firefighter, an EMT. He's with Salt Lake City firefighters. He was off duty. He had his little girl and his dog in the car. And he saw the situation, and the man ran towards danger. Now,
And Get Part Daily were the first people to interview him.
have a look.
Have a look.
Tony Allred. I'm a captain and paramedic with Salt Lake City Fire Department, last 21 years. I was taking my daughter Arabella to gymnastics. As I'm loading Arabella into the truck, she wants to bring our dog Grizz with her. So her and Grizz are behind me, and they're in the back seat, and we're just taking our normal route down Alta Canyon to get out of the neighborhood. The car in front of me stopped, and I noticed two vehicles, an SUV and a pickup truck, just ahead of me. They're kind of in the middle of the road. It appears to me to be a car accident. I'm looking at the vehicles, and I heard a shot. So I immediately look up, and I'm looking around a little bit more, and that's when I notice what I believe is one person lying in the street. And I'm like, oh, wait, well, what now? And now things are taking a different turn. Then I see a man come running around the north side of the SUV, and I hear another very loud gunshot, and he goes down. Now I don't know what's going on, other than I know that there's an active situation going on. When the shooting first happened, a whole bunch of people around on the sidewalk, I could see them run, go for cover. I see one guy covering around a fence and some other people on the other side of the street covering. And then I see a woman walk from the south side of the street over to the car. She approaches the car on the opposite side of the guy that just went down. And I remember thinking, you don't want to do that, because I still think, from my impression when he got shot, was that I thought the shot came from very possibly the pickup truck behind him, and that he had been shot from somebody from behind, just the way he went down. And I'm still in the impression there's an active scene, and I'm like, don't go in there. I'm in the truck with my daughter. I'm not going to initially go into. And she looks in the window, and I hear her, my window's down, and I hear her saying something to the effect of, there's kids in the back seat. Now, I believe my daughter's in a safe position. I think that's my first thought. And so then, I'm thinking maybe there's just some kids in the backseat that we can snatch and grab and get off the scene. I position my truck again so that I can see my daughter's window. So I turn the air conditioner up all the way, and I tell her that her job, I'm going to be right back, you'll be able to see me. And I tell her, your job is to take care of Grizz, our dog, who she loves. And she's like, I'm on it. She's 8. So then I go up and I approach the scene, and I notice 2 people, obviously deceased, as I approach the scene. And then I go to the back seat of the car, and there's 2 kids in the car, and they're obviously wounded. This woman is holding one of the kids. I take over. I tell her who I am, and that I have some medical training, unless she's got more medical training than me, which I was hoping. I have no equipment. There's very little I feel like I can do. So I take the smaller boy from her and try to see, if he's breathing. And it takes me a few minutes to establish that he's also deceased. while I'm evaluating him, I'm looking at the other boy in the car who's on the floor in the car. And there's a lot of blood. He's got a lot of blood on him. And I'm asking him, what's your name? He tells me his name's Miles. And Miles is having trouble breathing. Miles knew that he was injured badly. I mean, he knew, you could just tell he knew. He was able to talk pretty well when I didn't have to manage his airway between sort of, I would have to clear his airway, and then we were talking, and he was able to tell me his name and kind of tell me yes or no. I was asking him questions, more just to kind of keep him talking and to kind of, so that I had a sense of what his level of consciousness was. I wanted him to talk here and there to kind of, so I could kind of, it helps me know what the status of his airway is, which I was really concerned about. And you know, so it's just talking. Hopefully he's thinking about something else. The other bystander I was with, the woman was on his foot and alternately kind of holding his hand and his feet and kind of, and I think that was, I mean, for me as a parent, to be able to know that like there was at least somebody like hanging out with my boy for, you know, he wasn't there alone. Like, that was a big deal. This whole time I'm still peeking out the window of the car so I can see my daughter still in her car. I'm looking at the truck because I'm still under the impression that there's perhaps another actor out there. But it seems to me like Miles needs to be in a better position. So I leave the vehicle, I come around the other side, and I take, trying to keep his head as stable as possible, I remove him from the vehicle and reposition him on the ground in outside the vehicle. Once again, peeking over my shoulder, watching my truck, looking over the top of that car, watching that truck. Once I get Miles repositioned, his breathing improves. But given his injuries, his airways need to be constantly cleared and repositioned to keep him breathing. But I can tell Miles has got serious injuries. And I can hear the sirens. I had called our dispatch center as I approached. When the first officer got there, he came from the direction from the west, where I was thinking there still could be somebody involved in the shooting. And he came through there and didn't encounter anybody. And then I felt a lot better because I knew, well, at least the guy's not right over the side of the truck, because the officer would have dealt with him by then. So I just kind of gave the officer a brief rundown as to injuries, what their medical needs were going to be. He assured me that Sandy City Fire was on their way. I could hear them. Sandy City Fire showed up with an ambulance and an engine, if I remember right. And I helped them load Miles into the ambulance. But he did great. You know, I was super impressed by him. You know, you could see he was scared, but he was being super brave, you know. And I remember when he left, really hoping that Miles did well, because, like I said, on scene, he was super brave, and you just kind of see that he was super determined. Now, as I'm heading back to my truck, a police officer comes out of the house just to the south of the scene, the first house closest to the accident, says, "There's a girl with a gunshot wound in the house." And I'm there with the two Sandy City firefighters, EMTs still, and they go right into action. You know, the one EMT goes right with the cop into the house. The other guy heads to get the equipment off the truck, their other medical kit, because the ambulance that came to pick up the first boy is gone. And I just, as he's going by, I just ask him, I was like, "Do you want me to help your partner until you get back?" And he just says, "Yeah, would you?" And so then I follow his partner into the house. I pick up my phone, I'm calling my wife, and I just tell her real briefly, I'm like, "Don't ask any questions, you need to come down here." I just tell her, "We're right by Reams, you'll run into us. Come down here and get Arabella." And she's naturally asking a couple questions, and I talk to her until I get into the house, and as I come around the corner, there's a girl on the ground with a gunshot wound, and I hang up with my wife. And then Sandy City and the officer that was initially with her did a great job. I assisted a little bit, and then the next ambulance arrived, we loaded her. It's a real feeling of helplessness to be there with no equipment, and the whole time you're thinking, well, if I had this piece of equipment, I would do this. If I had this piece of equipment, I would do this. Because your training assumes that you're at work with a certain set of resources, and you're not, and that's frustrating. So you do as best you can. Obviously, it makes no sense. I mean, I talk to some of the talks we have at work, we talk about that you can't apply logic to a situation that doesn't make any sense. If logic wasn't involved in the why, then you can't apply logic to it afterwards. There's just you can't get there. There's no answers to applying reason and logic to an unreasonable, illogical act. And so I guess over the years I've stopped trying to say why people do things because like I said, you're going to be frustrated. But it was a super cowardly, nonsensical act.
All right, thanks so much.
Time for the big thank you.
The big thing. Oh, we actually give it away.
Yes, we have a winner today, Kristen S.
More
Kristen
steak
S.
we won't be eating.
I know, but it really is. They had this. I was talking to Melissa, who's the general manager, and they have this whole new summer menu that's killing me. I'm like, we could come in and try it. It'd be great. She goes, oh, send in your winner. They'll tell you all about it. So, Kristen S., congratulations, my darling. You will be taking 3 friends down to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, and you'll be driven there courtesy of executive transportation. If you too would like to be like Kristen S. and win this, all you have to do is go to the show on any of our Facebook pages. That's Todd and Erin, Gephardt Daily, or Gephardt Approved. Just comment on the show today, like and share, and boom, you're entered. It's really embarrassingly simple because we're not that bright. So if we make it complicated, it's not going to happen.
Things you can do at a mall. You can go and you can hang out, and you can
get a pretzel.
You can get a pretzel.
You can join the cute older ladies who put on their sneakers and they do the stride around. Have you seen
walk
that?
around.
It is the cutest thing ever.
Especially during the winter.
I know.
They meet guys.
They got the elbows up.
Just like the teens, they pick up the guys. It's great. We also can meet Muslims.
That seems like a feature I'd never heard of before.
This is a great idea.
Tell me.
Basically, there was a group of Muslims, and they're in Oregon, and they thought to themselves, this is right after the subway attack.
Yeah.
And here they are, and it simply says on their shirts, talk to a Muslim. And they set up shop at Starbucks, and they put out small cakes, and they used the wrapped ones so people felt safe. It's not bad. That's horrible that we have to say that.
I know.
And basically, they sat there and said, ask us anything.
I can't even imagine the array of questions. I would die just to sit there and take notes.
Well,
Seriously.
a lot of people were just like, what? And he said gradually, if somebody saw someone talking to him, there's about 4.
Edged over.
They would come over and they would ask a question, and from grandmothers to talking about the Quran and talking about their customs and stuff. And these are gentlemen who have taken abuse in public, absolutely taken abuse in public. And here they are, and they're talking to people and opening themselves up, giving them a little pound cake, giving a decaf cup of Huda,
I love
whatever
them
it is.
best for the little cake. I mean, that's the nicest thing they can offer.
And they talked about their religion, and they talked about the different people who are mistreating it and using it as a bad excuse to kill and maim people. And they've gone through. Oh, the guy's really good at baseball too, sports. He can memorize the Quran, and he also tell you the lineup for 1968 Mets.
Well, what's so interesting? The way they came up with it is that 62% of Americans don't actually know a Muslim.
Right.
And they thought, well, if that's the case, then yeah, we should be out there. We should be open and there to answer questions. And if there's something people want to know, we should be there. But I think it's incredibly courageous because there's a lot of dumb questions. I'm sure there's a lot that might be hurtful or offensive, but they still wanted people to know.
And then the teenagers show up, and they're like, you ever been to Mecca, dude? And one of them had, And they asked, well, what's that like? And what did you do? And the guy lived close by before he came to the United States, and so he went a couple times, and they talked about it. You know, it's like kind of their Woodstock. They tried to relate, but the kids were too young. Where people gather and express their religious beliefs. So anyway, I just thought that was so cool that they would put themselves out there, and they would allow that. The other experiment I saw was a gentleman T-shirt and jeans and a blindfold.
Oh, this was the most emotional video ever. I'll put it up on our
And
Todd
a
and Erin
sign.
page on gephartdaily.com.
And what did the sign say?
Hug a Muslim.
And do you trust me?
Do you trust me? And he stood there with his arms out. And this is in New York City. People are walking back and forth
Right.
and staring and thinking it's nuts. And this was after the first really brutal round of terrorist attacks
Right.
last year.
Right.
And first, the first lady came up and she kind of gave him the tentative hug, and
Right.
he gave her the careful hug back.
Yeah,
and
always
then a
very
businessman
gentle.
came up, put down his briefcase, gave him a hug. Then this big bearded, woolly, wild guy. And this went on literally for like 2 hours.
And the mom went over and gave him a hug and called her kids over.
It was it was incredibly
It
emotional
was
to see.
gang hugged. Just 16 people just came in all at once, and he just couldn't stop smiling.
But
It's so touching.
And if you watch the video, there's not anyone who comes up and says
No.
anything unkind or like throws a cup at him or anything like that.
No, there's people coming out watching him with his arms out, and he's getting hugged and stuff, and they come around and look, and all, and they read
what's
his...
the catch?
What are you doing? And they read his sign, they okay, we're hugging. And it was just so cool. I just thought it was a great thing, too.
Well, I think it would be enormously courageous if we all could do that. There's got to be something unusual about all of us that if there should be a Starbucks everywhere.
That would be so...
We sit there and go, ask me about archery, or ask a Mormon. God knows they've done the missionaries have had to do that before. Ask me about anything.
Ask the taxidermist. Taxidermist.
But don't you love the idea, though, that you would be able to ask anyone and hear their stories and understand them better?
This reminds me of another story.
Oh, good.
That reminds me of a story. They have a program at one of the libraries, and I cannot remember where it was. And so basically, you could rent a person. You could go and rent a person, and not rent. Like
Well,
you do
you
like
could
you do
check
a
him
book.
out. You could check him out like we
that's what it
would
was.
do with a book.
And so you could go in, and they say, this is who we have today. And they had like a 90-year-old guy, and then they had a guy who was tattooed and pierced.
There was somebody who had stormed the beaches of Normandy during
Right.
World War II. There was another guy who was a Rhodes Scholar. I
They
think
had
he was a physicist.
A doctor, African-American doctor, a female, just all different walks of life, teenagers too, that's teenagers, because God knows what they're thinking. You have to find out. And so what a great experiment. It's like, I want to talk to this tattooed guy.
Think about it. It's like essentially living history. It's a narrative of your life and of all the unusual things that have happened. And for people who may or may not read books,
Right.
they're literally having this person as their book. I thought it was the most amazing idea.
The person who talked to the guy with all the piercings and all the tattoos everywhere was shocked right up front when he said hello, and the other guy goes, "Hi, how you doing?"
What do you think, he's going to slap him or something?
I don't know, but it was a great experiment.
I can't think of anything interesting I have that people would want to ask about.
Why are you married to Todd?
Yeah, that would
That's
be a good
probably
one.
it.
Okay,
I'm going to show you some.
Let's move on, 'cause this
I'm
is
gonna show
weird.
you. I'm going to show you some dedication. This is called dedication of a man who wants to take care of his lawn. And weirdly enough, this is in Canada. Go ahead and show him.
This can't be.
Yeah.
That is the most. I mean, seriously. You have a tornado touching down on the prairie behind you.
And this is not. This
No,
is.
and look at
this
his
is-
neat little fences all around it. Like, this fence will protect my
This
lawn
is not
from the tornado.
Photoshop. This is not
This
Photoshop.
is really not Photoshop.
No, this is in Canada, and it's a rare one, obviously, and it looks like a grain field.
They have
And-
vast amounts of prairie land, though, so that's not surprising.
So,
But-
and he has a lot of pride in his backyard. And so his wife came out, "Get in here, you jerk," like this. And it's Alberta, Canada. And this happened on Friday night. And they were like, "Get in here, you got to get in." He goes, "I'm not done mowing the lawn. And then there's some trimming to do." And he said all the neighbors were out taking pictures because it is a rare thing. And he just finished doing his lawn because he saw it
Got
moving.
the edging all finished up.
He
and-
said it looks closer than it actually was, which I don't believe because a tornado, a cow could have come over and hit him. You saw
Okay.
in the movie Twister. Cows, we got cows. Right?
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his lawn. It seems okay.
And it looks great.
Okay, now this is awesome. All Utah Plumbing, they went to our neighbors the other day because she had managed to turn on the air conditioning, and I'm not quite sure how she managed it, but she froze the whole thingy. How did she do that?
And I was taught this by John. Is the fact that if the furnace isn't going fast enough, the air isn't circulating fast enough, it's not removing the cool from the coil, and so it tends to ice up like your freezer does, and then you get no airflow, and then you're done. So basically, his advice was, before I come over, change the air filter, and that took care of the problem.
All right, coming up next, tell me.
No, Daisy has a surprise for us.
She does? Oh, that's so nice.
And that's coming up next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com.
And also by Columbus Travel. If you go to columbusvacations.com, you can sign up for a weekly newsletter that always has great last-minute deals on hotels, airfare, cruises, and more.
Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
Why are you so excited about this?
Can
I
I
haven't seen the story
Now?
yet. What are we doing?
Can I do it now?
Yeah.
Now?
Go ahead.
All right, you may or may not remember a couple of years ago when one of our teams here in Salt Lake City came up with a truly ill-advised...
Oh.
This was the ORMLs. And as you may remember, they decided that it would be super awesome to have Caucasian Appreciation Night. Yes, the ORMLs once again announced Caucasian Appreciation Night.
Wow.
That promotion ended up being pulled after being mocked nationwide, and
Whoops.
the marketing director ended up resigning, but he probably will not be the only one out of work soon.
Maybe he got a job in Ogden.
Because the Ogden Raptors, wait for it, ladies and gentlemen, just threw up an entire press release about Hourglass Appreciation Night.
I don't get that yet.
August 11th promotion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that. Yeah, you're seeing that there.
Oh.
I'll read you some of the copy, shall I?
Please do.
The home team will be hosting the Billings Mustangs, but the real thoroughbreds will join the Raptors broadcaster in the booth. Since August is the 8th month of the calendar year, and an 8 looks tantalizingly similar to an hourglass.
Wow.
Be there a better way to remind the world that baseball needs no clock than to feature 18 hourglass-shaped commentators.
Well, that's 18.
That's right. Stars Talent Studio of Salt Lake City will provide a different stunner every half inning.
Every half inning.
Fans will have the opportunity to pose for pictures with the lovely ladies as we seriously showcase splendid visual appeal.
Ladies, ladies, ladies.
Yeah, it was quickly deleted after several people had screen capped it laughing
late.
uncontrollably, so it's already
Too
there.
late.
President Dave Baggett, the team president, says, "Oh, well, that was an unauthorized press release."
That's a pretty elaborate, unauthorized
One of my
press
personal
release.
favorite things about this, though, I can't help but enjoy the Stars Talent Agency, which if you go to their website, list themselves as the largest talent agency of the Intermountain West.
Which it's
says,
not.
we are the only talent agency dedicated to developing healthy role models within the media.
You know, when you talk like that, it kind of creeps me out.
It's meant to.
It's doing it.
Way to
John.
go!
All
Now,
right.
see, the nice thing about this, now Orem feels a little bit better. The heat is off them, and now the Ogden Raptors get to just cringe in the spotlight for a while.
That's just the weirdest thing I've heard in a long time.
Isn't
need
that
to-
like exceptionally creepy?
You need to cleanse the palate. Can
Okay.
you tell me something good, perhaps?
I can do that, and it's rather magnificent. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. There's these three guys. They rented out their first house, very excited.
Very cool.
And they all happen to be kids of single mothers. None of them have a real father figure in their life. Well, so Dane thought, this is dumb because we got this cool patio, and they'd gone in together and they bought a barbecue, and they're like, I have no idea how to do this.
Right.
And so they thought this. They said, we'll throw a big party, but we need a residential dad. We need a representative dad. So this is what they did.
Wait a minute. What do you mean a representative dad?
They wanted a substitute generic father figure to be the barbecue dad. This is the ad in Craigslist. Duties include grilling hamburgers and hot dogs while drinking beer. Bringing your own grill. This is subject to change. We'll bring the meat. Refer to all attendees as big guy, sport, chief, and chef while drinking beer. And talk about dad things like lawnmowers, building your own deck, and
Talking about these
Jimmy Buffett, etc.
Whittling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny anecdotes are strongly encouraged, all while drinking beer. Desired experience, a minimum of 18 years experience as a father, a minimum of 10 years grilling experience, a nice cold beer on a hot summer day. Now, we can give you all the food and cold beer you want that we can't afford to pay you, but since we don't have a dad of our own, we figured getting a generic substitute representative dad would be the next best thing. Now, you're thinking...
What? Okay, go ahead.
You're thinking people are going to be like, this is a joke, dismiss it. They had over 300 applicants. And they picked the favorite representative, generic dad.
It's Dad.
And he said, yeah, this is great. Showed them all how to set the barbecue up, how you're supposed to put the grill
Get
together.
out, how cool.
And he says, and then he was talking to them about chicken. He goes, no, you got to do a marinade.
Right.
That's going to work best for you. And sure enough, he did it all while drinking beer.
And telling him how to meet chicks and stuff?
Oh, no, he's got to call him sports champion.
So where did they advertise? Online?
It was on Craigslist, and they kept saying it's not a joke in the the ads context, but they thought people would laugh it off. But no, they had that many dads go, yeah, sure, I'll come in and be the dad. That'll be fine.
That is a great story.
And so now they said he is our honored representative dad for the rest of the summer.
Oh my gosh, are they going to do other stuff with him?
Oh yeah, isn't that epic?
It is. I am. You know what I'm excited about?
What?
Our very own Daisy has a surprise for us.
Really?
Yeah, and she says it's something food or something. Let me.
I have a terrible feeling this is going to be vengeance based
No,
because
she
we
said
made her
she's
eat
ready.
the Pop Tarts.
Oh my God, that looks great.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Hi,
can
come
for
on in.
that?
Yeah. I'll go and get the can.
I'll get the can. You sit down.
Oh, look, and she's
All right.
got a little garnish.
There you go.
Now, I thought maybe you were going to hold this against us because we had made you try Pop Tarts and they weren't heated or anything, and I was a little. And you decorated it
Sit
with
down.
dots.
I decorated
All right, so
it with dots.
okay, everybody move over a little.
Yeah, everyone's
'Cause I
cute.
don't
So
want-
that's so sweet.
Let me show this.
out
Let me
on
show
this.
this to everyone.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, that needs a close up. What's that on top?
Dots.
She did a little extra
I
decoration.
did it. I went the extra mile.
That's because that's who you are, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that?
Wow.
And this is English?
Yes.
Oh.
Would you like to know the name of it?
Well, of
Wait,
course.
let me get over.
That looks
So-
lovely.
You brought this from England.
Spoons for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. And what is it?
This is spotted dick. Now I did kind of weigh up because it's quite a hot day outside whether we would want to eat hot spotted dick on a day that's 98 degrees. But I think it's so delicious that I think we should try it
Where's
because
the
also
can?
it's cooling off.
Oh wait, I just
It's the spotted dick is cooling off.
The reason that I put these little garnishes on it as well is because I don't know whether you can see this, but this dick is not totally straight. It's just kind of a little kind of it's
It's SQ.
it's
Yeah.
slightly askew.
The
Does
spotted
your
dick is SQ.
is your family they like spotted dick?
They do, yeah. We did it at Christmas.
Erin, why don't you start first?
I will be the first to try the dick.
Holidays.
It's holidays, so it's a festive spotted dick.
It's a festive spotted
Yeah.
dick. Yeah.
What is the spot?
Why aren't
in
you
the dick?
eating?
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay.
The raisins. But the best thing about this is that if you ask anyone, if you ask an English person,
Right.
why is it called spotted dick? They'll
Yeah.
be like, well, because it has raisins in it.
Right.
And then if you say, right, but
Right.
they'll just say, well, because it has raisins.
Pick your spoon back up.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Now,
The
how
dick is surprisingly delicious.
now this came out of a can, right? So I'm sure they make it fresh as well. Do you like the spotted dick out of a can, or like your mom makes it in the kitchen or something?
Well, I
Does your
mean,
mom make spotted dick?
I don't know if my mum can make spotted dick. I don't know. The thing is about this can that, as you can see, it's premium quality dick.
Well, I think that's the most important part. Why
What
would
are the
you waste time on
ingredients?
anything less important?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
you like it.
She does.
The dick is surprisingly delicious.
How do you feel about the temperature? Is it too cool now, or is it still pretty warm?
Lightly spongy
Warm.
pudding.
Dick.
Yeah. It's established in 1910, so this is like historical.
This spotted dick was established in 1910?
Yeah,
This is
1910.
an old spotted
No,
dick.
not this. This is a new dick.
This
Yeah. No, this other stuff is. Well, thank you so. I think we should all take another
Yeah,
bite.
let's take another bite.
Right.
Would you like a little bowl too?
No, I'm just gonna go with one of the spots.
Would you like a bite that,
That would
has
be lovely.
both dick and dot?
Winner!
Merit Medical. Why work for fast food wages when you can start at Merit for a whole lot more? Merit Medical. Great products, great people, a great company. Learn more at merit.com/careers. The law offices of Robert J. DeBry and Associates, with offices in Salt Lake City, Sandy City, and St. George. Check them out at robertdebry.com. The Todd and Erin morning stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
I'm the one who did not break. Did not break.
Look how much that was a big mouthful.
She had no.
So broke.
No.
Todd didn't break. Todd didn't break.
Yeah.
He wasn't laughing
So-
at all.
I think we did crack at the same time.
Yeah, I think you did. Well, why don't you take your spotted dick and get out?
I'm going to take the rest of this home for my husband.
Oh, does he like spotted dick?
I think he does, yeah. He likes it better with custard, but I think he would take
Who doesn't?
just dry. No, I'm just
I got you again? I got you again, didn't I? Yeah. My job here is done.
Okay, off I go with my dick.
Okay.
I can't even think of an American food horrible enough to give you nowadays.
Oh, we're going to work on it. Okay.
How did I break before you? How? How could I have cracked before you?
I was just
You saw the
imagining.
can.
No,
You saw the can. It's
You know how I did it? I just kept picturing myself being fired.
That's
and
a good start.
and somehow I kind of
Yeah.
zoned out there. There is a myth, fact or fiction. Fact or fiction. Somebody's been asking this for years about this. And fact or fiction, can you cook bacon with a gun?
Like shooting at the bacon?
No, not shooting at the bacon. Well, someone went to prove fact or fiction, and here it is.
Your U.S. Marine Corps issue rifle. I don't recommend it.
Look, he looks
You might
serious.
get in some trouble. But this rifle is not a U.S. Marine Corps issue rifle. So we're going to cook some bacon on it, just to show you how hot your suppressor can get.
This is
And
Chief
I'm on-
Warrant Officer 5 Christian P. Wade, Division Gunner, 2nd Marine Division.
I just like the title, Cooking with Gunner.
There you go.
About as America as you can
Wrapping.
get.
And that's a suppressor, by the way. That's a suppressor.
Oh, he's wrapping it with foil. That's
Yeah,
why, so you
it
don't get
quiets
the
it
gunpowder.
quiets the gun down, and he is now going to go downrange. All clear.
How many times is it fired?
Don't you want to know that? Don't you?
That's a lot of bullets.
It's a lot of bullets, so the suppressor does a lot of work.
I'm seeing a lot of steam coming out.
That's what that is. That's bacon love right there. Yeah, he's smelling
I
it.
love that, how he's double checking. Like, does it smell good, sir?
Not crispy
I'm
yet.
sorry, I love this guy.
No, see, he's checking it now.
What do you say? We need a little more?
It doesn't. Go for more. Yeah, let's heat that thing up a little more.
Well, I prefer my bacon crispy too, so really I can't.
Vaporized.
Right.
That might be a little.
Guess we're not eating today.
Well done.
Yeah, he says it's kind of. It went south on
No.
him. It went south on him.
So now
I think
you
he's
know.
just having too much fun with the bullets. Just couldn't stop himself.
But it was bacon, and he did cook it. So, fact or
Who knew?
fiction?
Who knew?
Fact.
It couldn't be any creepier than your plan to make salmon by putting it in the dishwasher. So
It does work if you like poached.
great.
You can also wash your toothbrushes in there and your flip-flops. It's a
Probably,
truth.
preferably not with your dishes.
It's the fact. It is.
Okay,
All right.
let's talk about the dog thing because to
Okay.
me this is like anything you can do to
Don't
catch
show
people's
yet. Don't
attention.
don't
is
show
so
him yet. Don't show him
important.
yet. All right. So this is in Chicago. Okay.
Okay.
And the student was looking for a fun project. An art student looking for a fun project, and decided that she wanted to focus on homeless pets at the Humane Society.
Always perfect.
At the shelter, and she always noticed is that when they took dogs in, some medium-aged dogs and stuff, and they had to be neutered or spayed. A lot of times the dogs go after the stitches. They just
Oh, the cones.
and so they have to put
of
cones on.
shame.
And the cones are so that doesn't you see a dog with a cone on it? It's
They're
just
so
like
dispirited.
really is. And these are dogs waiting to be adopted. And so how are you going to get adopted wearing a cone like that? So the art student did this.
Oh my God, that is the cutest thing ever.
Right.
Oh, look at all the little fuzz balls.
And look how happy the
He
dog
does.
looks.
He looks like he's feeling a bit better about himself
Let's,
right now.
let's show another.
Are there more? I like his look of shame, just like what's up?
I'm in the trash can. And another one.
Oh, that is, darling. She looks
Right.
like a little showgirl. Oh,
Every-
that is so precious.
Every single dog that was photoed, not just those 3, have been adopted and were adopted wearing the cone.
Because it does. It gives them a whole new personality, a sense of appreciation that you didn't have before.
And a lot of the dogs, I mean, how lovely does a dog look in a cone?
Seriously, the dog
Never.
in the trash, the licking his chops. That was my favorite. That was epic.
That was so funny.
The complete shamelessness.
All right, so our friend Richard here wanted to go for a drive. He said he wants to go for a drive. He's got to go up north, and I said, well, what? We should get some fireworks. And
What else would you
Evanston,
do when you cross the border? I bet you go for fireworks.
Or they do have lottery tickets.
Well, there's that too.
They have that, and so I said I'm in for both. And so he took the drive. And if you've driven to Wyoming to Evanston, you might remember some of this. Here we go. Evanston in 60 seconds. All right, see?
That was really beautifully done, Richard. Thank you so
I
much.
saw the dam. I saw the crazy canyons, the stretch of death before the way station, all the way up there.
Oh, now, have a wonderful weekend, and do not forget to go on to our Facebook pages, Todd and Erin, Gephardt Daily, Gephardt Approved. Sign up to win the Christopher's Prime Steakhouse dinner for 4 with the limo service, and also don't forget our Steel Magnolia tickets. We're going to be giving those away on Saturday, so you want to sign up for them right now.
And don't forget, Saturday is free fishing day. Anybody
See?
can go fishing. No one has to have a license. It's one day. If you want more information, just go to the Department of Wildlife Resources, and their Facebook page will give you all the instructions.
This is going to be an epic weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Have a good one.
Dot.
Winner!